This week, Dustin and myself are going to Australia to hunt water buffalo with my buddy Al Houston.
So this is my first time, and man, I'm pumped. I can't wait to get there. I tell you what, you just don't do this every day. That is nature at its finest.
I won't be on this hunt, but I'm sure the guys are going to have a blast.
I mean, this fire is headed right to our camp. It's coming.
I like this one. Let's kill it.
Time to get up now.
Our lives move pretty fast, but it's only in the moment of the hunt that life slows down. It's not a matter of what we do, but how we do it. With passion, drive, and the challenge to accept nothing but our best. We are the Wildlifers.
Well, I won't be going with the boys to Australia this trip because I'm going to be in New Mexico on my bear hunt.
You know, when I found out that we were going to Australia, I was excited. Then I heard we're going to go hunt water buffalo, even better.
I decided last year that I really wanted to go down there and do a hunt for these animals because I just had a thing for hunting these big buffalo. And I invited Al to go along with us just to have him along. He's a lot of fun to be with, and the stories that he can tell of his life's exploits are amazing to say the least.
I met Dan through the taxidermy business of Woodbury's, which was run by Jimmy Derringer. We're really excited. I think we're going to have a great hunt.
Traveling to Australia takes an average of 20 hours. And with a long layover in Darwin before flying into camp, the Wildlifers have some time to check out one of the city's main attractions.
You know, we just got some time to kill, and there's a big tourist attraction called Crocosaurus Cove. You know, heck, we're going to go check it out.
Crocosaurus Cove is home to the world's largest display of Australian reptiles, including snakes, which are not one of Dustin's favorite animals.
I saw a lady that worked there holding a snake, and I made the comment, "Hey, Dustin, why don't you hold the snake for a picture?" And Dustin does not like snakes.
Holding the snake?
That snake right there. I want to take a picture right now. Go grab it.
Oh my God, that thing right there on the ground?
The guy's got.
No.
He was making faces and oohing and ahhing and having trouble making himself touch that snake, and there was a little girl right there that she couldn't have been 4 years old, and she was holding the snake, and I was like, "Come on, Mueller."
I don't like snakes. I don't like touching them. I don't like seeing them. I don't really like any kind of snakes.
He did it. He finally did it. It was funny.
I got bit by a cobra carp this morning. Not this snake, but a different one. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I don't like snakes.
Yeah, but you know those things that are clinical, they just like stab you in the end of your finger.
The other
It's
way.
just a tiny little snake.
Yeah, it's trying to come on my arm. Dan can make fun of me all he wants. I don't want to touch no snakes. You know, while we're here, I'm getting to learn about the saltwater crocs. And the conservation efforts that Australia did with these crocs is amazing. They were almost extinct at one time because of all the poaching that went on. So Australia, they created these croc farms where they grew crocs, and then they farmed them. Just like we farm cattle, they farmed crocs. And they made the value of those crocs go way down, and it eliminated poaching. So it's really a neat conservation story of how they took the declining numbers of saltwater crocodiles, and now they're exploding, and there's, you know, more than there's ever been. It's really cool to learn all that at the Crocosaurus Cove.
I'm about ready to get out of here and get out to the hunting concession and get after some buffaloes.
You know, we acted like a tourist for a day, but tomorrow, it's game time. We're going to the Outback to go do some buffalo hunting.
The guys have one final flight the next morning before arriving in camp in the middle of the Australian outback.
Well, we land on a dirt strip there in the outback, and we meet Greg Pennicott of Greg Pennicott Safaris, get everything unloaded, put in his vehicle, and start on about the hour drive from the airport to camp.
You know, all this travel time, all the months in preparing for this, you know, we finally land, we get out and we meet Greg. And Greg, he's this big burly sucker, you know, I mean, he looks like a buffalo hunter. We know we're in a good spot. We're in good hands now.
The main species we specialise in is water buffalo up here in Northern Territory of Australia. I love hunting water buffalo up here on the coast, and they're a great animal.
You know, the first day we unload our stuff, we kind of get settled in, and we've got a lot of time left. So, hey, what a better thing to do than to go drive around and do some scouting, see the country that we're going to hunt, start looking at some buffalo, and check it out.
The way we hunt the buffalo here, it's a large concession, and it's too big of an area to walk and stalk. So we mainly drive around, find the animal that we like, and then we get in close enough to be able to establish a shot at the animal.
So they bed up in the trees and then come out?
They'll head up there tomorrow around 11ish. Gets too hot on the floodplains.
Yeah.
So they'll just go back in the bush. You'll see a different...
So they eat this saltgrass crap, huh?
Yep. Well, as I said to old mate, just over here's the ocean. We're only 3 k's from the ocean. And when this floods, it's all salt water.
You know, we've been driving around this evening scouting and seeing the country, seeing the terrain of where these buffalo are going to be, and kind of learned a little bit about how we're going to do it tomorrow. And, you know, I'm first up to bat. I'm ready. I'm excited to get me a big Australian buffalo.
Dan and Dustin have traveled down to Australia along with their good friend Al Houston in search of water buffalo. After days of travel, the time has finally come to start their hunt.
We're going to go where we went last night, about another 10 k's.
Oh, wow.
Haven't been out there this year, so we're out to have a look, see what's out there.
And tracks everywhere. I mean, they were just tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, they just go out there every day. You know.
The pool of water we saw yesterday, that wasn't there 3 days ago. Full moon and high tides, and it's brought it in, so be a few buff there. So we'll poke around, we'll find something.
You know, we get out there right after daylight, and you're up in these wide open floodplains. And there's no brush, there's no trees, there's nothing, it's flat. And as soon as you get out there, you start finding buffalo. And it's an amazing sight to see how many buffalo have fed out into these wide open floodplains throughout the night. And what you're doing is you're catching them coming back out and going back to the bush every morning. You know, it's just a matter of time before we find a big, old, mature bull.
When I glassed, you know, just stacked every 100 yards of buffalo. There's a bunch of them out there. We're gonna find one here in a second.
I saw 50 of them that I thought were plenty good to shoot, but Greg, he just kept holding us off, saying there's bigger, there's bigger, and these things had these horns sticking out, you know, 4 feet on either side of their head, and I'm thinking, my goodness, man, these have gotta be big enough.
Sure enough, we've got a possible shooter now.
That's a good bull. I've just been trying to find that next step, you know what I mean? That's what I've been driving around for. That's a good bull. Mature buffalo, like a record book buffalo starts at 85, but we like to get trophies in the high 90s or over 100.
You know, and I've never seen an Australian water buffalo, so Greg, he's seen thousands of them. I'm putting all my faith into him that he knows what he's talking about, and he says this is a big one, so he looks big to me, but they all look big to me. know, these animals are big and they're tough. We got to get to him. I want to put this buffalo down as ethically as I can. I got to get up there and put another one in him. You know, when I got this bull down, I couldn't wait to get up there and see the size of these animals. These animals are huge, and the horns are big and wide and sweeping. You know, he's got horns this wide, they're this big around. This is awesome. And he is big. It's really heavy too, and
Got a lot of weight to him.
a lot of weight. We call that mass. We call it weight.
Yeah, we call it weight. We call it mass. Yeah. It'll look great mounted, eh?
Heck yeah. Well, hey, cheers, man.
Hey, you're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it. You know,
Hey.
great animal.
You know, I killed my buffalo the first morning. You know, we've got a lot of time left. It's still early. Hey, it's what a better thing to do to start looking for one for Al. I mean, we've got time in the day. There's still buffalo out feeding. They're still heading back in, you know, to go shade up. So we're gonna start looking for Al a bull now.
I am looking forward to this because not only have I not ever been in this country, I've never shot one of these bulls. So my hunt's going to be utterly fantastic, and I am looking forward to it with glee.
We looked and looked for a bull for Al, and we saw some really good ones, but nothing quite like what we wanted. And we finally, right before dark, we found a good bull that we couldn't get to before it got dark due to a slough full of water between us and him. But Greg assured us that that bull would definitely be there in the morning, and if not in the morning, by the following evening.
Today, the crew sets out early to relocate the bull from the previous evening.
If Greg's right, he's going to be somewhere right around there close.
Yeah, I guess so. We're gonna go back over there where that bull was last night, have a look, see if they're still out there, huh?
Yeah, head back that direction, just see what we can find. I was there the other night, never saw anything. But on the other side of the river, as you could see last night, they're on the other side. So just poke down here and see what we can find this morning.
I sure hope that big one's going to be out here.
Yeah, as it got dark, he was not moving much, and we're hoping that he'll just stay put in this big flat here, and we can catch up with him.
I just can't see him crossing that river.
I can't either. But he really had a big body, and he looked like he was of the same size. Maybe not the horns, but I know the body size was big also.
Yeah, I think he might be a good one.
We got our fingers crossed on this one.
We just got over here to the area where we last saw the bull, and sure enough, he's not far. We've got him spotted.
Well, after some kind of fast maneuvering, getting Al in position, he was finally in a position to take a shot. Al's first shot was great, you know, even with a giant rifle like he was using, but these animals are huge. I don't know that anybody understands how big these animals are, and super, super tough. So Greg and Al had to start maneuvering their way toward this bull to get another shot in. Well, Well, after his last shot, we knew the bull was hit and hit hard. We knew he was down, and Al was ready to get over there and get his hands on this giant.
When I walked up to this bull and was able to touch him, it was just unbelievable. The mass, the animal is huge. They're majestic. They're just tremendous animal to hunt.
It was exciting to see Al take this animal. That's one of the very few animals that Al Houston hasn't taken. I'm happy that I could be there to see that because Al is a dear old friend, and I can't think of anybody that I would rather have seen take that bull than Al Houston. Well, we got Dustin a great bull. We've got Al an awesome bull. It's my turn now. I can't wait to get after him. And we spent the rest of the day out in the floodplains looking and looking for a bull.
You know, we've been hunting all afternoon, and on the way in, I mean, we start looking, and Greg starts telling me, hey man, that's some smoke over there, and that's towards our camp. And as we get closer and closer, I mean, sure enough, this smoke is right at our camp. You know, as we pull up to the camp, I mean, we start looking and you see flames everywhere, and I mean, this fire is headed right to our camp. It's coming.
Dan and Dustin are in the middle of the Australian outback, and after a couple of successful days into the buffalo hunt, a fire has broken out just a few meters away from camp.
Well, we got to get our butts back to camp. Fire is obviously coming our way, and we got to get there and try and get it put out, save what we can. Well, we don't really know at this point, but we do know that we got a problem.
Hey man, I jump right off the truck and I start grabbing a rake, and we get it all contained right in the nick of time because it is right there at the camp. Another 5 minutes if we weren't there, could have burned our whole camp down.
Well, we almost burned the camp down, but we were able to get it put out, get it rerouted. You know, there's not a lot of vegetation right there where the camp was, so we were able to do some quick maneuvering with the shovels and rakes and get it all squared away. I'm ready to get back to hunting. That's over. Let's move on.
Miles upon miles of the floodplains are investigated until the group puts a glass on a possible shooter.
I was like, man, I really like how this bull looks. I'd really like to take a shot at this one.
It's a good, pretty bull, you know. It's as good as what we're seeing.
I'd pretty much made up my mind. This is the bull that I want. Second barrel absolutely collapsed him. It was all over. It was done right there.
Yeah. Very lovely bull, high 90s, you know, just what he wanted. So yeah, it was a great ending to a great stalk and a great morning.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
He shot a big old bull, and he was a lot like Al's. You know, he had that same shape, more of a rounded shape. I mean, this is a cool water buffalo.
Thank you so much. Beautiful bull.
Hey, I got a giant buffalo, and one that's kind of red colored and beautiful horns on him. Dustin got just a magnificent bull, so did Al. Got to see some remarkable country. Greg Pennicott's a great guy. He knows his business. I would absolutely do that hunt again, and it's always great to go to Australia. I just love the people down there, and hopefully someday I can go back and do this all over again.
all your wildlifer social media needs, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.